Are you a life coach who wants to make a difference in the world? Do you want to share your wisdom, passion, and experience with others? Do you want to grow your business and reach more clients? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need Life Coaching Today. Life Coaching Today is the largest platform on the web for life coaches, therapists, and hypnotherapists who want to enhance their visibility, gain exposure, and connect with clients. Life Coaching Today is more than just a directory. It's a network of opportunities. By joining Life Coaching Today, you will get access to a magazine where you can be featured and connect with over 30 million subscribers. Be a guest to our podcasts with over 55,000 subscribers. A directory where you can showcase your profile, services, and testimonials to thousands of potential clients. And that's not all. Life Coaching Today also offers a free 30-minute coaching session on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where you can be coached or meet your next client. A flexible pricing plan where you can choose the best option for your budget and goals. A dedicated customer service team where you can get help and guidance whenever you need it. So what are you waiting for? Join Life Coaching Today and take your life coaching career to the next level. Visit www.lifecoachingtoday.com and sign up today. Life Coaching Today, the largest portal on the web connecting coaches, therapists, and hypnotherapists.
Well, hello, good morning, everyone. I hope that you all can hear me because Lord knows it has been a long time. It seems like it has been weeks, but I am Kiddada Asmara Grey, host and conflict coach of Life Coaching Today Presents. And welcome back to me. Welcome back to you all. And if you've been patiently waiting for me to drop my next podcast, well, I'm back. Life has been lifing, and sometimes I just believe that the spirits don't want me on camera for some odd reason. So I have had the worst camera issues on my laptops, and thank God I have a backup laptop, right? And even in my backup laptop, it was acting crazy. So I am back. I am here. Thank God. And I swear to y'all, I feel like I need to just have this podcast in my shower because that's how much time I spend talking to myself in the shower, especially on podcast mornings. And welcome. So if you are joining us for the first time, of course, I do my podcast at 7 a.m. because this is seen in so many different places. And this is the only time that I wake up really early in the morning, unless I have to catch a flight. And for all of our flight catchers, you know what I mean. And so, but I love it though, because I get to talk to people, I get to connect with people, as well as I have some interesting guests that come on, and I love it. I love it. I love it. So in the shower today, I was trying to think about what exactly do I want to say in the intro and to have a discussion and so forth. And let me just tell y'all, I'm tired, y'all. And just like I think the world is tired, to be frank and honest, we have had so many issues and challenges. We've had hurricanes. I mean, I live in a space where I would have never thought I would have seen a hurricane. I mean, I'm a Caribbean girl and would have never, ever, ever, ever thought that I would see hurricane force winds and rains in Atlanta, in the metro area. But we are just seeing everybody's just embattled at this point, right? We've got people fleeing from Florida. We've got this hurricane that's going up the East Coast, inside of the Caribbean. I mean, it is so stressful for people right now that the day-to-day nuances of how we live our lives for many of us are no longer the same. And I think that that is what was in my heart and spirit this morning about we are just trying to live our lives daily while we are minding our own business and life happens upon us, whether it's a natural occurrence, whether it is a health issue that just popped up out of nowhere, or just something that I always say, like, life is lifing and we have no clue sometimes it's a surprise, right? And so initially I wanted to talk about the challenges with the P. Diddy issues and all that stuff. But guess what? Some of that, all I'm going to say about that he created all of those challenges for himself. And I'm going to leave it right there. Oh, and I'm going to say this. No, I'm not going to leave it right there. I'm also going to say also Garth Brooks created his own challenges for himself as well, now that he has a rape charge against him. 'Tis the season. But in the spirit of, life is lifing, a friend of mine woke up this morning after a horrendous evening yesterday. I really didn't even think I was making it as a sickly girl. Because I talk about my fibromyalgia, and I talk about how that just triggers me and just literally makes me so ill that I can't function. Well, yesterday I took my medicine. I was challenged because I was like a little late in taking my medicine, and that's okay. But I got a headache, and I don't know where the headache came from. And it proceeded to get worse, to the point where I wanted to throw up. And I mean, just out of nowhere, I did the things that, we normally do, which is, okay, let me see if I eat, right? Because I was so hungry, and I was like, let me see if I eat. I went and ate something that did not help. And so I was in the streets of Atlanta looking for food, scrounging for food, found a good place to eat, and came home, and yet I was still ill. And long story short, you guys, I was laid out on my floor last night, curled up in a ball because my head hurt so badly. And for me, I get sick because of, it could be rain, it could be snow, it could be the change in temperature, it can be and so some of you aren't going to believe this, but I actually can become sick too if I'm around, or not only being in the presence of someone, but if I am speaking with someone that has an illness, that's being sick or something, I have actually absorbed that as an empath, and I get sick. So last night I was on the floor, literally curled up, in so much pain. Now, here's what's funny. You guys, I have my doggie Zora, who I celebrated her bringing her home birthday with me the other day, because now she's been with me for like 3 years, 21, 24, and love her to death. But, they always talk about what happens if you're in trouble, and does your dog come and save you? No, 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 no. My doggie came over to me while I was on the floor, y'all, looked at me, and went and grabbed her bone and started to eat her bone. And I was like, I don't know if I should take this personally or not. But yeah, last night was a horrendous evening. But I lead all that to say that when we're minding our own business about life, we never understand the physical challenges and the unhealthy challenges that impacts us. And it was just so much, y'all. Like, it was so much. I literally passed out last night, and that was my falling asleep until I woke up this morning with my alarm going off. And, and then I said, I grabbed my phone to check the clock and turn off the alarm, and saw that one of my friends, he actually fell through his attic last night, some point in time. I mean, praise God that he didn't break something or die. And I'm just like, we are literally minding our own business, and things are happening to us, which leads me to all of the millions of people that are being impacted across the world. Because if you're in the United States, we only see but a portion of the news. People have endured flooding. We know about the hurricanes, but these are life-changing, I just want to say this again, life-changing challenges for so many people. When I was a young girl, my house burned down, and I was thinking to myself, one day I need to ask my parents what the impact was to them, the financial impact, because not only is it stressful to see your house burned down, but it's also stressful to be in a hurricane and you drive it back to your location where your home is and you realize there's nothing there. I can't imagine what that feels like. I can only have empathy and sympathy for loss because I know what it looks like. Even in the space of just a portion of your home is blown away, that is so stressful. And it dawned on me this morning that we only see a piece of the puzzle. We see people crying, cameras are shoved in people's faces by reporters who are just like, what is it that how are you feeling? I mean, come on, we know how people are feeling. People are in shock. People are devastated. They don't even have the opportunity and will not have the opportunity for real grief because shock is a long-term kind of thing until you realize the impacts of daily living that are now missed. And not only the impacts of the daily living, but then there's also a financial impact. The other day I read a story, I think it was from Market Watch or Business Insider, and I realized a couple things. We either aren't teaching young people about finances, which I know we don't. And we move in the space of, in the United States, I'm going to speak specifically in the United States, the goal is to always buy a home, right? And so you go through the process of purchasing a home, but we don't seem to understand what happens when catastrophic challenges like hurricanes and fires occur. Because this Market Watch, I think it was Market Watch, someone who wrote in said, hey, I'm in California, because remember a couple weeks back, California had, it seemed like a series, it was almost like every other day they had, they had some, it wasn't a hurricane, I think it was, and it wasn't a tornado because we've had tornadoes coming. Oh gosh, I can't remember what it is they had over there. But I do know, let me tell you this, I do recognize and remember that the house, that the condo that they were in literally just crumbled. And so, in California, it's like millions of dollars for certain properties. And they wrote in because they asked a question, which I found very interesting. And they said, do I still need to pay the mortgage if my home is no longer standing? And I thought, wait a minute, what kind of question is that? What kind of question is that? Because the obvious question is yes. And then, but in someone's grief, because there is grief at a loss of a structure of what we call home, we're not really functioning well. People don't think well under that level of stress. And like I said, these what we see in the moments are just the the forward facing challenges that it's easy for us to absorb as human beings, because I feel like we have all of these challenges in the world and we take bits and pieces, little bites, and then we kind of move forward. However, what we don't do is look around and see the care and the love that is needed to pour into people daily. And when I say people, I'm talking about the little people, our young kids, all the way to their parents, their grandparents who are enduring these kind of things. And I know from my own health issues that stress causes inflammation. And inflammation, you all, if you've never thought about it, if you've never had any injuries to your body, if you are a healthy person and you haven't really gone to the doctors, inflammation in your body is, in some spaces, it literally, and when I say spaces, let me be clear. Inflammation in your body can make your cells swell in a way that is harmful to your body. That's how we have illness. And stress causes our cells to change so that way we become ill. And this is why I love our wonderful guest today, Christine Linsom, because she is an RN who recognized that in her patients, if they were having financial stress, she saw that the illness in them, and she wanted to learn more and became a financial advisor. I love that, to help people kind of corral their finances and build a base in their finances so they can be sound. But when I say sound, that doesn't mean complete. That just means that we have the ability to move forward and kind of feel a sense of relief. But I want to tell you all more about the inflammation and sickness response when we come back. So to my awesome producer, Yoruba, let me know when Christine is here, because she's not here yet, I don't think. And so when she comes on, we're going to discuss just that. Oh, she is here, y'all. Wonderful. That we are going to discuss what that looks like. Because I have my own health issues. I never thought about the financial stress, about how that is really impacting me, but I know it causes pain in our bodies. I know it causes that what we call an immune system response, whereby for anything else, it's like, oh, okay, my immune system is low, so I'm getting sick. Like I tend to not go outside into large places because my immune system is not that strong, right? If I get sick, and I was sick for almost 2 months, my immune system is not the strongest. COVID is still out here. And so can you imagine, just imagine you leave. And even before you leave, y'all, the stress, things like, we see all these movies about all these catastrophic incidences and the world is coming to an end. And you see people are just like lined up on the highways. Well, do you know in Florida, like there were 8,000, let me say that again, 8,000 gas stations that closed in the last 72 hours. And you're trying to get out of Florida to come to Georgia or drive to North Carolina, and you don't have access to gas. This is stressful out here, people. And then not only that, but you don't know what it is that you're going to have to pay for when you return or when you're leaving, because not only have you paid a mortgage this month, because we're mid-month, it's October 10th, you paid your mortgage at the beginning of the month, and then now you've got to find hotel stay, you've got to find extra food, you've got to find a place to stay. So if you're not staying with family, you're staying at hotels, that's another fee, right? Entertainment, because if you have babies, you got to make sure that they're entertained. And then on the return of that, you're going back home, you still need money. And then you go back home and then your house is damaged, your community is damaged, you're looking for places to eat, get fresh water, which is imperative for us to live, right? And much less just clothes on your back, and your home is decimated. That is a stress that we don't talk about. We don't talk about the mental stressors. We don't even talk about the assistance that's needed. And yes, we always are sending money, and I'm really not too sure sometimes where that money goes and what it's going to. But I do wonder, though, does it go to mental health care? And for me, I am always thinking about people's mental health, because I'm like, how do we care for people? How do we care for what is going on with them mentally in that space? Because the children are going to need it, because guess what? The schools are damaged. They can't go to school. And then now their option of how they're spending the day is cleaning up their home that once was, and finding trinkets that were most important to them that are either gone or damaged. So I want to talk today, and we are going to talk today about that issue of the financial impacts and how they affect your body. And we're going to hear from Christine Linscomb, her journey to where she is, because there's always a reason, there's always cause and effect. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to see our wonderful guest who chose to get up with us early this morning, which I thank her for. And I will see you on the other side. So, Yoruba, we can go ahead and go to a break. And I'm going to drink my water. And I have my little.
Welcome to Life Coaching Today Presents, hosted by Kiddada
Grey. Good morning, Christine. You are on mute. And that's okay, because I think the mute, unmute is the skill that none of us learned out of the pandemic. You are looking gorgeous, darling. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, beautiful. I am doing great this morning. It is 6:21 here in Texas.
Ooh, in Texas, y'all. In Texas.
Yes, but I am so happy to be here with you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You are just so gorgeous, and you're looking so good this morning. I appreciate, once again, you waking up with us. And somewhere in the world, it's afternoon. So someone's like, oh, she is dressed and ready to go out. So have you all, before I let you introduce yourself, I do have a question. Has there been any impacts in Texas lately with the hurricanes? Because I don't know which hurricane we're on. I know we're on Hurricane Milton. I don't know. We always go down to Z. So maybe we've had 10 hurricanes by now. I don't know. Has Texas had any of those impacts so far?
Not with the current hurricane,
Okay.
but we did have a hurricane like about a month or two ago.
Okay.
But thankfully, our house was fine. A little minor damages, but our house was good. Nothing major.
Good. And then this summer, you guys had these rolling blackouts, because I was in Texas this summer, y'all. Y'all, Texas is different. I'm just gonna say that. I've been to Texas. I think I've been like in Texas 3 times. And this time I was just like, what is going on in Texas? This is a whole different kind of vibe in Texas. But I had heard about like these rolling blackouts and stuff like that people were enduring. And I guess Texas is known for that at this point. So welcome to the Life Coaching Today Presents show. You are now family. And so you are always welcome here at any time. And so please give our audience an introduction of yourself. I like to let people tell their own stories, because I think that's most important. And so the floor is yours, my sister.
Yes. So my name is Christine. I am from a small island in the Caribbean called Trinidad.
Wait, hold on. No. Wait, I did not know you were a Caribbean girl. Girl, I am from St. Kitts and Nevis. Okay. All right, Queen. Hello. Good morning, Caribbean girl. Caribbean girls. All right. And she's like, I'm from a tiny island. No, ma'am. No, my island is tiny. It's 68 square miles. Okay. She out here lying already this morning on the Lord's Day. All right.
No. But yes, I'm from Trinidad. I came up here at a very young age. So I lost my accent, of course. I came up here when I was 8 years old.
We don't apologize for things like that.
So I am a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for 8 years. And then I still work as a nurse part-time. But I am also in the financial industry as a life insurance broker. And the reason I am between these 2 completely different careers in my life right now is because I noticed that there is this huge financial gap in the medical industry.
Yeah.
So we see a lot of patients come in whenever they are discharging. Some have to discharge to like a rehab. Sometimes insurance doesn't pay for those coverages, and they don't pay enough. They won't cover all of it.
Yep.
And so family would reach out to GoFundMe accounts to ask for people to donate so that they can cover those expenses, and sometimes just other type of medical expenses as well. So I noticed that while, in the nursing industry. And so the trigger for me is whenever my aunt got diagnosed with colorectal cancer in her early 40s. And just seeing all that she went through, just pushing through for her kids, waking up every morning, still logging in for work, just because she had life insurance through her job. And so I watched her go through all of that. She passed away, leaving behind her young kids. However,
My
that was really,
condolences.
I'm sorry?
I said my condolences.
Oh, thank you. Yes, but that was really my trigger into just learning more about life insurance and really just filling in that educational gap, not just within my family, but within the medical field. I feel that if she would have been educated on private insurance and how it would have been able to benefit her while she was alive, maybe things could have been different. So that was just my pathway of grieving, my grieving process, just learning more about life insurance, how I could have helped her, but also just help other people and prevent other families from going through that same process.
Interesting. And so when you say private insurance, so let me just say this. So we've got people around the world who listen to this show and watch the show. And so let me just say, in the United States, we have a very interesting healthcare system versus socialized medicine. We do not have socialized medicine, and most of us receive our health insurance via our employers. If our employers actually offer it. And then some of us have to buy our own insurance privately, right? We go onto the network, what they affectionately called Obamacare, and we find doctors and we pay for it on our own, especially if you're an entrepreneur like me. And then there's so many people, even though it says in the United States, we don't have punishments for it though, we don't get penalized, not that I recall, that a lot of people don't have health insurance. So you mentioned private insurance in your aunt. So are you saying, you said she had life insurance via her job. Did she not have health insurance via her job?
I was referring to private life insurance.
Private life insurance. Okay. All right. So tell us, what is the value to having life insurance?
So the value of having life insurance is pretty much whenever you pass away, your family would be given a lump sum of money, the death benefit, for them to pay off the mortgage, pay off any other debt that was left behind, and then hopefully have enough money for the family to use for funeral expenses or whatever the case may be.
And so she did have life insurance, or she didn't have life insurance?
She did have life insurance through her job.
Okay. And I'm sure that's where most people think that they're covered, right? Like, I've got life insurance through my job, and I'm good. I'm absolutely good for the rest of my days. But you're making the argument that we need to have additional life insurance.
Yes. So I believe that life insurance outside of your job is needed and should be put as a priority, because whenever you have life insurance through your job, whenever you are in between jobs, that life insurance coverage goes away. It's immediately terminated whenever you are let off that job.
Oh, I don't think any of us, don't think people know that.
Yeah.
Because things like our 401k, it belongs to us, right? We can get things like COBRA if you want extended, health care while you're looking for another job. But now you're saying that your life insurance, if you leave that position, get fired, get laid off, life insurance goes away.
Yes, your coverage is completely terminated after that.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Whenever you are on leave, while you're still employed, you can be on leave for whatever the reason that may be. You are not considered an active employee. So if something were to happen to you while you're still employed, sometimes they may not even, give the family that coverage that was pretty much guaranteed. It's very, I'll say that every job is very different, but I know where I was full-time, that's pretty much how it was. life insurance through the job, if you are on leave, you would not be covered. If I were to pass away while on leave, my family would not get that coverage.
So when you say on leave, are you talking about like vacation or sick leave or
Sick
maternity
leave,
leave,
sick leave,
short-term disability?
sick leave, short-term disability.
Okay, you just blew me away. So let me get this straight. So I'm working for company X. I just happen to get sick. And you're saying potentially my company could be like, you don't know, your life insurance is not active until you come back to work.
Yes, you're not actively working. Correct.
Oh, wow. What about if you're on vacation or that doesn't count?
I'm not too sure on that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
again, every company have their own criterias.
I'm kind of dumbfounded by that because I think we all believe that because we're paying for it, right? Life insurance is not something that is a gift from your employer, right? So we're paying into it. And even if you are on leave, let's say you happen to get paid on the Monday, right? The same day that you're sick, they're still taking that money out. So what happens with that money?
It goes directly to the employer.
And it stays with the employer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. So if you are fired, that money just stays with the employer as well.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's interesting, really. That's really interesting.
Because it's most of the time it's term insurance.
Okay. Tell us what
Which is
that.
term insurance just means that they have that coverage for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
So it could expire within that duration of time. And so in an employer aspect, your life insurance will expire whenever you leave the job. It's
Okay.
temporary. And so that's called group life insurance. And so a lot of the times it's a lot more affordable. That's why a lot of us opt in to getting life insurance through the job, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's just that understanding that you should also still have your additional life insurance that's private outside of your job. So if something were to happen to you, get laid off, you quit, whatever the case may be, while in between looking for jobs, you have your own life insurance outside of that job, your private life insurance.
Okay. So you're making the argument that's why you need it. So in the group life insurance is what makes it really cheap. So it could be dollars, right? So we're not talking about hundreds of dollars monthly. We're talking about like what, $5 a month because there's so many people buying into it.
Yes, it's a lot more affordable. And then they don't do like medical checks on their employees to get these life insurance. So it's affordable and the coverage isn't a large lump sum. I'll say probably 50,000 depending on which company you're working with. But it's not like a large lump sum of coverage
Okay.
item.
So that's another interesting thing. I think when I was growing up, I remember seeing, like I've heard about life insurance, but why would I, as a young person, think about that? Even coming into my first career in my 20s, why would I think about life insurance, right? So here's your opportunity to tell us why it is we need life insurance, the private life insurance, because let's be honest, we graduate from college, we get our first job, or for most of us anyway, and we get our first professional gig, right? And that's where we get all of our great, like, oh my gosh, we get our vacation, we get all of these wonderful things that our company is giving to us. So and I might have all this school debt, right? So why would I decide to take on life insurance, like another set of life insurance that no one ever tells me about anyway?
So life insurance is just that it provides us that safety net. And so before I really go more into that, I would like to really explain the different types of life insurance.
Yes, please.
So the first one would be term life insurance. You think of term, think of temporary. So that is like the traditional life insurance. I'll call that the dinosaur life insurance. So basically, the family have coverage. And so whenever that person, the owner, passes away, then the family gets that death benefit. And the family could pay off the mortgage, funeral expenses that was left behind, and so forth. And then we have term with living benefits, which is pretty much the same as a regular term life insurance. However, living benefits is critical, chronic, and terminal illness. So if the person, so basically a stroke, a heart attack, if they're diagnosed with something like that, they can let the insurance company know, hey, this is my diagnosis. The insurance company go through that process and they will say, okay, here's a lump sum of money that you will get for the month. And so that the family could just focus on recovering and resting and not worrying and being stressed about the finances, paying off their mortgage or their rent. If they're not able to work, they could pay for the other necessities from that insurance money that's given to them. And then there's a whole life insurance, which also has living benefits in there, but you are also able to build cash value in that account. And then there is universal life insurance, which is, I call it like the Lamborghini of it all. You are able to build cash value, and it's a lot more flexible. So they also have the living benefits in it as well. But the premiums are a lot more flexible. You could put in as much money as you want or as little as you want. But it's a lot more flexible. It's a pretty amazing product. You get the living benefits, the death coverage, your cash value is building in there, and you can use it for whatever reason you want to. For your children, college savings,
Oh, wow.
retirement. Whenever your kids are getting married, you're like, okay, we could use some of this money that I've been putting aside for you in your own policy. We can help fund your wedding with some of this money, or it could be like another gift to your child. They have that money there that they can use to pay 20% off on their new home, whatever the case may be. That money's there. It's an amazing product.
So, okay, you are teaching me so much today in the audience because I'm just like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? I have no idea. So, because you talked about like the term and you talked about the living benefits, right? Like I get sick and then you're like, okay, the companies, and my first thought was Aflac. Is that insurance?
Aflac, yes, it is insurance. However, it doesn't have the type of living benefits that I am referring to. All of the living benefits that I'm referring to.
Okay. So what is the process to get the life insurance that you're talking about? Because you said you don't have to go get a physical, you don't have to they don't have to check your health status. So how does that work?
So life insurance, it pretty much goes by what the client is needing, what they really want.
Okay.
So for us to determine how much coverage you need, we need your age, your weight, your gender, how much coverage you want, and also your health plays a huge role in that decision making of what your premiums will be.
Okay.
What was your next question? I'm sorry.
So it's no. I'm just wondering, like, because I think I've watched old movies in the past and they've talked about health insurance and they're like, oh, you've got to go get a physical before you get health insurance. And so is that something that's standard or yeah, I'm a little confused by that because I don't understand why it is you have to tell them I'm healthy or I'm not healthy. Because I'm thinking if I'm alive, I'm healthy, right? To a degree.
Okay. So if you think about it as these insurance companies are basically risking their money on giving out to the population. So why would they approve someone that has a low livelihood outcome, like that may only live for 2 years? They won't really want to give them
Okay.
$500,000 if they're expected to, not live
Okay.
past 2 years. So it's just like a risky game. And so that's why they ask these medical questions as well. So with life insurance, whenever you're applying, you have the option of, like, for example, getting an express application, which means that the express application might be a little bit more expensive. However, you're bypassing getting like lab work done, and
Mm,
going through other type of like medical tests. And
mhm.
what they'll do is just um, look at your medical history and access some of your medical files and just read what has been recorded in there.
So they
And
have
some
doctors. Are there doctors that are
they're
reviewing?
looking
They have doctor panels that are reading this, or is it
There's
nurses or
there's
who's
a
reading?
medical, yes,
Okay.
underwriting. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Underwriting have like a list of medical qualifications
Mm,
and so forth. So sometimes that express application might be a little bit more expensive. However, if you are like, hey, I'm healthy, yes, go ahead, just do like the full lab work, full medical exam. And once that comes back, like they're super healthy and great, they might be approved for a lot cheaper
okay.
premium. Mhm. So that's the difference between some applications, some companies wanting you to just make it a little bit more simple and just saying, "Hey, go ahead and apply. You don't have to do any lab work, etc." And then there's another option of you can do lab work. Um, if it's true that your health is perfect, well, then yes, you will be given a less premium to pay.
So are there some people who can't get life insurance?
Yes, yes. So people that I actually have someone right now that's been looking for coverage that was already previously denied by two different companies. They have end stage renal kidney
Mm,
failure disease.
mm,
Mhm. So that's one of the main reasons why I really advocate as well and say, while you are young and healthy, get coverage now.
right.
No one really plans on getting sick at all, but
Mhm.
whenever we do, it is really comforting to know that, hey, I have something here that can help me during this time
Yeah.
that would just alleviate a lot of the financial stress too. I could just sit here and just focus on recovering or just processing
Yeah.
this life change,
Yeah.
while the insurance coverage that I have cover like the medical bills and my home bills.
Mhm. That is, you literally have me thinking, right? Which is why we're having this conversation, because I'm like, oh, got to tell my baby girl she needs to get insurance. I need to get more life insurance that is different than, well, I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, right? So I don't
Mhm.
have any type of businesses that I'm attached to give me that. And so I I guess for me, one of the questions I have is I'm sure that people are like, oh my gosh, that's another expense.
Mhm.
That's another expense. So how much on average have, if you can see a moderately healthy person, right? How much is their life insurance monthly? What is their premium? What does that look like monthly? Just to give people a framework.
So again, everyone is different. It's not a one size fit all.
Yeah.
However, for me, if I'm in my 30s, so if I just wanted like a term insurance for 500,000, depending, every company is different, so the premiums can be different as well.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty healthy, so probably like $25 to $35
Oh, okay. A month.
monthly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then how high could it go?
So again, that goes back to the type of coverage you want.
Yeah.
So for term, like we said earlier, it's a lot more cost effective because again, it's just death benefit.
Yeah.
And then also the term insurance with living benefit can also be a lot more cost effective as well. But whenever we get up to like the Lamborghini vehicles, such as Universal Life, where it's a lot more flexible, it offers a lot more to us, that's where it gets really pricey. So for something like that, it's a lot more complex for me to put like a number
Yeah.
on it. But that one for sure will be a lot more pricier.
Yeah, and I ask about the number. I ask about the price, right? Because we can choose, we every day we choose how we spend our money, right? Let's
Mhm,
be honest. We choose every day how we spend our money. And so, and I think the easiest example that people always give is coffee, right? That amount,
mhm,
we go to Starbucks, we spend $6, $7 on a cup of coffee. If we did not do that, right, we could literally take whatever that cost is the month, because we know some
mhm,
people are at Starbucks every day. Like they don't know how instant coffee works in their own home. But I understand the process, right? I understand you
mhm,
get up, you drive, it's a part of the routine. But that right there could essentially be what it is that we spend on life insurance to cover our families,
mhm.
right? And so I think it's important to note that there is value in taking care of ourselves and taking care of our families and spending that money that way. So it's
Yeah.
not just the idea of having a vacation, right? Which is wonderful to gather up our family and go and rest but it's also care for if we have to, succumb to an illness, or if we get this catastrophic illness, that we have that
Peace of
ability to
mind.
care for. So, when you're talking to people and you're meeting people, what is your best pitch to why I need to take an additional $30 or $150 a month and invest that for the family?
My pitch, really, I relate it to nursing.
Yeah.
I currently work in a cath lab, and if you
Tell
don't know
people
what
what
a
a
cath,
cath lab is. Tell
yeah,
people
so
what cath lab.
yeah. So basically, you're dealing with the heart. People come
Mhm.
in for complaints of chest pain. Um, they have their blood levels will show that they have heart damage.
Mm,
They will get a stress test done, and their heart rhythm will be all over the place. It'll be diagnosed as abnormal stress tests.
yeah.
Um, and so I also want to point out that heart disease and cancer is one of the leading causes of death in the
Mm,
United States. And so relating back to heart disease is it's a leading cause in both men and women.
mm,
Heart disease is basically a buildup of plaque in our arteries, which can lead to heart failure, stroke, heart attack, and just so many different other things. And so, knowing that it's the leading cause of death in the US, it's like, why not have coverage?
yeah.
Why not? Why not give yourself that peace of mind? If something were to happen to you, you have coverage. It's a lot easier. I would say it's a lot cheaper and convenient to pay $30 to $50 monthly than trying to figure out how to raise money like 50K,
Mm,
100K in 2
okay.
weeks trying to pay for
Yeah.
medical bills or even funeral expenses. I've seen people just raising 10K and they don't even reach that amount. You just have to
Wow.
get lucky to
Yeah.
even have people, really donate until they reach that
Mhm.
goal. So why put yourself in that situation where you're depending on that? Like give yourself that peace of mind that, hey, I don't plan on getting sick. God, I hope I'm never getting sick. However, if I do, I have something set aside that hopefully it's enough to cover myself so I could heal and just focus on processing everything, or just cover my family so they can bury me in peace, pay off the house, pay off any debt, and hopefully have enough for them to go and splurge and process their grief and try to, live life and enjoy it again.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yes, that's my little spill.
I love the fact that you like married the two, right? You were looking at people who are ill, you were seeing their illnesses, and then you're also seeing the challenges that their families are having. And I'm just going to say, my mom's a nurse. And so you guys are always in the rooms, but you're always, it's, you're talking, but then you're also silent, and you also have the ability to listen to overhear certain conversations. And so you hear all of this, right? You hear the parents or the family members talking about how to pay for things, how to, and so I love that you were like, wait a minute, like this we could solve some of these, right? Because some of the medical issues can't be resolved, let's be honest, but the care and the comfort that you can take on to give to yourself and your family members is paramount. And so I love the fact that you married those two. Now you did say that if I were to go get life insurance, can I buy life insurance for my children, or is it only a policy for me, or how does that work?
So life insurance, you could be the owner, and you don't have to be the applicant of the insurance. So you could for sure get life insurance for your children, your grandchildren, or even for your spouse. You could be the owner and they could just be the applicant of that insurance.
Do you encourage families to buy just for the parents, or do you encourage them to buy for the entire family?
I encourage them to give themselves that peace of mind and just buy for the entire family, of course, within their means.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you could afford it, of course. But I encourage you to make sure that your entire family is covered.
So because I just heard in my head someone say, because I can only imagine that people will feel like this is something that's equivalent to what's the word? Where people are like car insurance, I'm paying in, but I don't get anything out of it. And what you're saying is no, like you actually can get something out of it.
Yeah, you definitely can. I mean, you're giving yourself that peace of mind. Especially if you have a term insurance with living benefit, it's a lot more affordable. So even if it expires within 30 years, at least you gave yourself that peace of mind. Like, I had the coverage. Thank God nothing happened during that time of that coverage, but at least it was there. And then also you still have that option to either renew it or get another type of policy.
Okay. And I wonder if that's where people have the hard time with it. Like if I don't get sick, I don't even get any portion of my money back. I don't get anything. And so I think that I wonder if that's why people are just like, it's just insurance. It's not really going to do anything for me. Because I think that people can relatively see what occurs with health insurance, right? You get a portion of your bill paid for. We're all excited and we're happy about that. But the idea of, okay, we've got to cover all this other stuff, or like I said about car insurance, I've paid all my car insurance. I've never had an accident. And yet someone at the end of it, they're like, never mind. Like, thank you for the money.
Sorry, my daughter's awake. Hold on, baby.
No, that's fine. We like the little people. That's all good.
Sit right here.
We like little people. Listen, I have 3. They're not little people anymore. But my doggie's sitting over here. She's my baby. So Zora is over here getting rubbed on. Because she's just like, you guys have taken way too long. Even though she knows the routine. Oh, I see a little hand. Hello, little person. Hello, little person. We see you. It's time to go to school if we have to go to school. Yeah. So I appreciate, so tell us before we wrap, and you have to go be a good mommy, tell us what is the path to getting life insurance? How do I go looking for it?
Yeah. So you could contact me. I work with multiple different type of insurance companies, and I would find the insurance company that would best fit you and your needs. You could find me on Facebook under Chrissy Linscomb, or Instagram, Chrissy, lovely Chrissy _01. And I'm sure we'll have that attached on here. But I would try to make this process as quick and easy as possible. And I will always keep you updated on how your application is processing through.
So you can actually, so you're in Texas, and so you can look for anywhere across the country?
Yes, I work with multiple
Oh, wow. Okay.
insurance
So
companies.
financial advisors aren't licensed just in a particular state.
Yeah, no, we can be licensed. We're licensed in all 50 states, actually.
Oh,
Most of us are,
wow.
at least I
Okay.
am, me and my team, all
Okay.
50 states. So we can cover everyone within the US.
Oh, wow. Okay. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you drop in the chat, or no, don't drop it in the chat. Email me, because I don't have your Instagram and I don't have your Facebook, oddly enough, but we're on Facebook too. So that way I can make sure that people know how to find you. Because one, we want to support you, a lovely sister, as yourself in your work, but I also want to ensure that your voice is uplifted in a way to tell people, like, listen, this is what you need. This
Mhm.
is what you need. Now, in closing, I do have a question, and this is your first time on the show, but I'm still asking people this question. So, a couple months back, I was reading about somebody who's famous. I'm not going to call her name right now, and she was talking about how she cleans her bathtub. So we have a lot of fun on the show and we like to laugh, right? And she says that she doesn't use bleach or soap or any type of thing like that to clean her bathtub. She says that she just goes ahead and she rinses the tub. And as she's rinsing the tub out, she speaks life and positive affirmations over her bathtub. And so I need to ask you, because I'm getting all in your business, how do you clean your bathtub, sis? How do you clean your bathtub?
Actually, dish soap, white vinegar,
Okay.
yes, and then baking soda.
Okay, so you're going the natural way. I
Yes.
love it. I love it. Okay, so you're not dusting it with Comet or Dettol or something like that.
No.
Okay,
No.
okay, all right. But that sounds like more of the nurse in you going, I'm not going to put all these chemicals in the bathtub and kill myself while I'm trying to do that. But Christine, thank you for being with us on Life Coaching Today Presents, and thank you for enlightening us about the value of life insurance and why it is that we need it. You have definitely given me something to think about and actually marching orders about what it is that I need to do to take care of my family and myself if I ever become in a manner to which, we're not going to speak that into life, but in which I need to sit myself down for a very long time and, to care for my children. And you spoke to my spirit, because I was like, ooh, I want the Lamborghini things. Because if you can afford the best, if you can get the best, right? Get it to take care of your family. So Christine, thank you for being with me this morning. Thank you for waking up early. And one day, I promise you, we're going to meet in person. And I'm sure I'm going to bring you back on the show as well, because we're your family now. And so thank you very much. And I'm going to let you have the last word.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope that this talk really just enlightened everyone and just educated a lot of us that had questions. And hopefully I was able to really answer some of those questions for you all. If you all have any questions that need answering, please message me or text me. And I'm just so happy I was able to just be here today with you all this morning.
All right. Well, everyone, have a fantastic day. Take care of your mental, spiritual, and physical needs, y'all, because Lord knows we are under stress. I think the earth is under stress too. So you guys, till next week, till next time, thank you all for being here on Life Coaching Today Presents with me, Kiddada Asmara Grey, your conflict coach. Bye. Have an awesome day and awesome weekend. Till next week, y'all. And thank you, Robo.
Thank you for watching Life Coaching Today Presents, hosted by Kiddada Grey and produced by Aruba Saad. Our mission at Life Coaching Today is to empower your health, business, community, and life. Check us out at lifecoachingtoday.com. Everyone here at the True Awesome Network would like to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, and spread awesome.